My name is Joe Stublick, and I am an internationally selling artist based out of Long Island, New York. I focus on abstract, fluid art and action painting, and it's been carrying me to a lot of really incredible places. I thought I was going to be an animator, and then eventually I gravitated towards music, and I played guitar, and I played in a lot of bands, and I thought that was the route that I wanted to go for quite some time, which carried me into audio engineering. And when COVID hit, all of that stuff fell apart. I was in the event industry, and everything that I was doing professionally depended on people gathering, which is not something that we were doing during COVID. And so among many other things that went wrong, that just kind of pushed me in the direction of creating artwork. And that started right where I left off. I started drawing again, and drawing led to painting, led to, a bunch of other things, and I landed on something known as fluid art, or pour painting fluid art, however you want to cut it. But it is really the fundamental foundation of that style is based on watering down your paints with either water or latex, and then using a combination of other chemicals like silicone oil to change densities and offset different things, and you become a little bit of a mad scientist. Then you make a mess, and as you get better and better at understanding the way things work, you start learning how to take that mess and make it look cool. What inspired me to pursue a career in art was when I got invited to do my first international exhibition. A curator from Milan invited me to do this international exhibition through a gallery known as MADS, which is growing more and more popular these days just because of their model makes it super fast-tracked as far as getting their hands on what they need to produce really cool shows. I flew out to Milan and I did that show, and I had no idea that was going to happen. At the time, I was just I was creating art as therapy, and it was a lot of fun, and it was getting a lot of attention. And then all of a sudden that happened, and I went to Milan, and more people started contacting me, and it just, it exploded from there. It really did. That was when I knew that I could take this and run with it and try to turn it into something. And I decided, yeah, let's see how far we can go with it. So the name of this piece is Dala, not to be mistaken with Dollar Dollar Bill, y'all, but more like mandala. And the concept behind this was actually that I was just gonna do a regular old pour and a Dutch pour, blow it out with a hair dryer. And then I wanted to stencil in a mandala in the center. And the blow came out really cool. It looked like pretty much all of my paintings. But the mandala looked like crap. The paint didn't hold to the stencil, and it bled under, and it just looked like a mess. And so I let it dry, and I told myself that I would paint it back over and I would give it another shot. And so I covered the whole entire thing with black paint after it dried, and I did another blow, and this time before I even got to stenciling the mandala in, I decided that the work that I did with the blow dryer was horrible, and I didn't like it. And instead of waiting for it to dry a second time to give it a third try, I just started scraping all of the paint back. I shouldn't touch this. I started scraping all of the paint back, and the texture from the underpainting, the one that I was trying to cover up, started to grab the fresh black paint, and it gave it this really broken, shine-through, topographical fingerprint that none of my other paintings have. And I also noticed that the mandala was rising through the black, and it's physically rising up, which you won't see that in any of my other paintings. But as I saw this whole thing starting to develop itself, and it kind of took control, I wasn't conceptualizing it anymore. I was just letting it become what it was going to become. And so I dammed it off, I let it dry, I kept this black in the center, and then the last thing I did was brush the center with gold and bronze mica powder. So that's not gold paint, that's actually metallic pigment brushed right on, and what you get is this like kind of fossil effect, like archaeological dig type thing happening. And the name of the painting kind of speaks for itself. And that is the story behind Dala. Fast forward, I made a deal with one organization in Greece who represented me for 12 months. And during that time, I was still able to, pursue my own endeavors here in the United States. And I was invited to participate in Art Expo New York. And while I was preparing artwork for that particular event, there was one painting that I was working on, and it wasn't going the right way. And I scraped everything off of it, and I started over, and I guess you could say I fell into one of those flow moments. And it wound up becoming a really, really beautiful piece known as Dichotomy. Which was unlike anything else that I had painted before then. And as soon as it was finished, looking at it, my father was actually hanging out with me too. And as I was looking at it, I said it to myself more than I said it to him, but I said out loud, this is what I want to do with my life. And yeah, that's definitely when I realized it was my passion. Life in and of itself inspires me. All of the questions of the unknown, where we came from, who we are, where we're going, why we're going there, why we're here right now, and then just pure emotion along with that philosophy. They drive me, and they make me want to create. And I express both ideas and raw emotion when I paint, and for whatever reason, it works for me. And that's my algorithm, and I'm sticking to it. It was a challenge at first to be able to tell myself, no, you're a part of this community, and you are an artist. Don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're not, because you got here and you're here, and you didn't just get to one show. You've done quite a few at this point, and it was hard to just accept that and allow myself to be this new version of Joe Stublick, I guess. COVID steamrolled me in a lot of different ways. And at the same time, my marriage also failed. So I was dealing with the collapse of the most important relationship in my entire life while the world was on fire. And that is what brought me into the world of art once again, after pursuing music for a really long time. Over a decade passed before I picked up a pencil again to draw a picture. And when lockdown happened and my marriage failed and I moved out of my house and found myself back in the basement that I grew up in, you got nothing to do. No one had anything to do, and I also didn't have anyone, really. I mean, I had my family and my friends, but at the end of the day, it was me and me, and art saved my freaking life. love the hell out of what you do, and never stop doing that, and never forget that you're doing it because you love it. Because once you start getting attention, you're going to start being pulled in a lot of directions that can very easily distract you from the raw passion that brought you into art in the first place. So always have fun, and also continue to throw yourself in people's faces. And you know, there's a camera and a video camera and a microphone in your pocket at all times. There's no reason for anyone who wants art to be a major part of their lives to not be able to make it so. So love what you do, and don't be afraid to show it to people.